uh, virtually beat up a little there for my friend here, Sam.
Mhm.
So, um, this is Sam. Sam is my business assistant. She's in charge of the business team that handles everything except what
Mm.
comes out of my lips. Right? She's so instrumental. Huge shout out to you. Thank you for being here. She's going to be handling the chat. She's going to be handling me, making sure I stay in line, right? Because we all know I get a little crazy sometimes. So, and then in a few minutes here, we'll get started as we get everyone showing up, and I'll give you some updates about me and then what we got going on today.
I love it. Hi, everyone. Good to be here. Happy to be supporting Ken and his work.
Well, Ken wouldn't have his work if it wasn't for her. Let's just
Hmm.
put it that way. Huge, huge asset. No, she's not for hire. Okay.
Well,
You
maybe.
guys, maybe she's like maybe the price is right. Oh, I love it. I love it. I
Quite
love it.
right.
So Sam is the one that set this event up. And I don't mean the back buttons, right? She's the one that says, "Hey, let's let the team channel today." Okay? She's going to be asking me questions. They're going to be answering, and then we're going to get into a little bit about what this event coming up. Is it already Sunday coming up? Is it on Sunday? I think it is 16th, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Man, time is just crazy. So I'll give you some updates on me. Like I said, there's some major shifts happening with me that I thought, for all of you who follow my saga of evolution, then you're going to find this quite interesting. And by the way, if you guys haven't done it already, ooh, look, I got the right hand this time. The evolutionary human Ken Lloyd. There's a new Facebook group that Sam helps. Well, I mean, Sam's running. I mean, telling you, I don't know how she sleeps, but she's handling all the Facebook group, and there's going to be a lot of things posted in there. There's going to be some, other things. We're not going to even give that away yet, not tonight, but she's got that under control, and this is where we hang out, right? So if I'm not in these events, this is where to pick up on the latest and greatest of what's happening, with the events and what have you.
And there's more opportunities in that group as well for sometimes we give away scholarships to Ken's program. Sometimes we give away little discounts to like sessions. Sometimes we do free events. Ken posts these amazing videos that he's been channeling in that group. And so there's some really awesome stuff. I'm gonna drop the link to the group in the chat in case anyone is interested in joining.
So let me know when you're ready for us to begin, Sam. We got like 129. We're 5 minutes out. What do you want to do?
I say, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it right. So everyone, we're just going to keep everybody on mute again, except for Sam, as we go through this. Um, so a lot of you have been following me, for quite a long time, and especially the last 6 months. There's been quite a ramp up in the number of folks that are interested in what the team is delivering. So I've actually been going through a lot of issues this past couple weeks. So I'll share with you, absolutely share with you. So been in Colorado now for 4 weeks, right? And I got to tell you, the moment I stepped into the state, the process of me evolving had begun, and it's not easy. And what I mean by that is it's emotionally distressing for me at times, right? Not when I'm in my calls and not when I'm doing my stuff, but the other times. And I couldn't understand why I was getting triggered over the past week. I don't get triggered. Like, I really don't get triggered. And, I think Sam might have been a recipient of some of that a little bit, right? And I sat down and I had my team talk to me. So my team's been having me do automatic writing since I've been here. And what they explained to me, all of my energy bodies, the seven energy layers, they're telling me eight. I don't know about an eighth one, um, are being replaced. All of my chakras are being replaced. My entire energy field is being replaced. And it's being replaced with a that it is being replaced with all of us. What we want to try to say simply is that Ken is now shifting into us. We want you to understand the idea of us moving down into his energy field, modifying his physical body. We have done that to the point where it is now ready for the new, as he calls it, the new. And over the next 2 weeks, and maybe a little shorter than that, we will begin moving in deeper into the body. And again, all these energy channels are being replaced so that he can hold even higher frequencies and deliver. God, he likes to say the idea of us embodying him, and now he's going to embody us. We know it kind of sounds like a little bit of a loop there, but ultimately more and more and more is coming in. For those of you that have been following Ken, you'll recognize that he always says he's on an elevator ride, and he is. He will never stop evolving with this energy and what he's delivering. So we thank you all for showing up today and receiving what we're about to give to you. Yeah, so folks, that is my life right now, and I love it. They verbally channeled to me, walking around the house, whatever I need, they're always there, always talking to me, helping me understand what's happening to the best of my comprehension. So I just wanted to give everyone an update that, you know, nothing I deliver is the same. We may be doing the same rooms in the library and things like that, but everything that's happening are new energies. There are thousands and thousands of energies up there that are waiting to come down in through me to deliver to you as this new energy structure is in the body. So, yeah, get ready, guys, right? We're going to have fun. So, what we're doing today that's different, all right, is my dearest friend here, Sam, is going to be asking the team questions. And they're going to come through and they're going to channel. So, and then we're going to get into a little bit about what's happening. We're going to deliver you some healing today. We're going to work on your heart trauma. We're going to work on, where's my little list at here? There we go. We're going to work on some heart trauma. We're going to move some emotions. We're going to work on everybody's energy field, right? And then we're going to remove some life blockages for everyone. There is literally nothing you need to do. Sit there and sip some non-caffeine coffee because we know it's late, right? But just, sip some water and enjoy as we move through this. And please, drop anything into the chat room regarding your intentions, or if you want us to reach out to you via email. And where you're from, right? Let's just share. So, with that, Sam, and I'm sorry I talk fast. When this energy comes through me, it comes through me. Okay? So, Sam, if you're ready, I'm ready. Up to you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So my first question for you, Ken, and for your team is I want to hear a little bit about your journey, about your near-death experience, and if you could speak specifically to how you defined love before your big awakening and how that definition has shifted to where you are currently. That would be great.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this rather than the team, since it's kind of like a pre-game or
Pre-game.
pre-game, right? Into the game that we're playing now. Any game is just a general friendly word, not to downplay all those amazing things that we're doing here. So, my near-death experience was uneventful. And what I mean by that is I literally had an opportunity yesterday. Come on, my days are just gone. I think it was Sunday, to sit in on the Boulder near-death experiencers group. And this is the first time I had an opportunity to hear another story of the near-death and be surrounded by 20 or 30 other folks that have had, their own near-death experiences. And I gotta tell you, mine is absolutely not similar in the idea that I didn't go over, right? The tunnel opening up and, going over and having those epiphanies and having those conversations and having those life-changing experiences was not what happened to me, right? As you guys know, or many of you know, and those who don't, that's why we're kind of playing a little catch up here, is the idea of the tunnel opening. And then one of my future selves walked over into my field and began changing every aspect of my life. At the same moment, they pulled all of the trauma of my life from birth up into that moment out of my body through my abdomen. Took 2 minutes and I fell asleep. Woke up the next day a little more peaceful, not as angry. My life was very stressful at the time. And the other part of the question was, how did I define love, right? Before this. I didn't. Never even thought about it. Love was, to the wife, I love you, have a great day, we'll see you tonight. And that was my definition of love, was literally the word, not the feeling, right? I don't think I've ever felt love. Remember, up until that time, I had 47 years of trauma buried in my body, including trauma at birth, like many of us have. And to be able to feel the expression of love, no, wasn't even a conversation I would have entertained. After the near death, and it's been almost 7 years to the month. I don't remember the exact day that happened. The 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 soul that walked in, the future version of me that walked in, began having me read and Google, right? What is spirituality? What does it actually mean to be spiritual? What is trauma, right? And how does trauma affect the body? And not only that, but they put people in my path, right? No different than right now. For whatever reason, I'm in your path, right? But the universe puts people in our path to help us grow, right? And to help us heal. And even for me, people came into my life that helped me know a little bit more about what happened and why I'm here, right? And I was having some of these crazy dreams of me doing this and that, and no, I'm not going to share what them are just yet. But these things were happening, and I didn't know who to turn to, so I went to a psychic, many of them, right? I had the quantum hypnosis regression therapy done. I was hungry. I was hungry for knowledge. I was hungry to understand what was happening to me, and I didn't even know that soul, the future version of me, was hanging out. And he was the one that kind of gave me that really weird nudge. Like you wouldn't ever be able to say, why am I Googling this thing? Why is that interesting topic there, an interesting topic there? Why am I buying this book and reading this book? So on and so forth, right? So my evolution started just like that, just an event. And over the 7 years, as I learned more and more about me, as I learned about energy, as I began to heal, because even though my trauma was released, I still needed to heal, right? I needed to understand how to remove that anger in my life, right? I was so angry. I was the world's, I was the introvert, In fact, I got to tell you a funny story. So we know Facebook shows us these timelines, and they come up and say, this time 7 years ago, this is what you posted. And I crazy or not, there was this t-shirt with this little fist that says, Introverts Unite, separately, alone, in different rooms. That was literally my life. And now here I am in front of 200 people telling my story. So my story is one thing, but more importantly is, why is this story important to you, and how does the story relate to you? So again, my life has shifted by others helping me. And the team here is, well, they're here to help you shift your life in your way. So Sam, I'm going to allow you to ask the next question. I think I kind of dragged that out a little. Sorry.
I think it was great.
Okay.
I think it's great, especially because I'm sure we have some new people here that don't really know who you are and what you do. So I think that was great. I want to know, well, we know that you work with the 22 or your team rather on a multidimensional level. How did they define love, and how does their perspective challenge or expand what humans believe about love in general?
So the 22, we want to define love as a frequency. Recognized Ken has more of a science background versus a loving heart background, non-emotional. We're going to laugh a little and say, yeah, he's the typical male, and he likes to laugh about that as well. So the idea of defining love is a frequency, right? So that frequency of love, right, that an infinite frequency of love is inside every single one of us. We are born with it. We bring it here. It never goes away. But what happens is it gets, we're going to use the term buried in the trauma of life, buried in the human experience. The human experience is designed to do just that. Understand this. This is a complicated, complex, amazing journey that you're on that is pretty much frustrating for every single one of you. All right? No one really actually wakes up one day and says, oh, I'm healed, everything's wonderful. So understand, the work you do is not just the work in this lifetime, it is the work in your galactic, your universal lifetime, the always lifetime that you always were. Imagine collecting all of this emotional frequency, these lower vibrational frequencies through your entire existence. And one day you say, oh, I want to go someplace to remove that. welcome to Earth and welcome to your lifetime. And this is exactly what's happening. And many of you, all of you that are here today, are here to say, I'm going to stand up to the challenge I created for myself, and I'm going to work through these issues. I'm going to remove that trauma so I can now kind of reset the slate in the galactic sense. Many of you are going to experience pure bliss in your lifetime, and many of you are already experiencing pure bliss now. A bliss is another word for love if you want. So just recognize that things aren't as bad as they seem. They're only as bad as they seem through your eyes, through your human eyes. But when you tap into the infinite universe, the infinite love, it is beautiful. It is always beautiful. And we're sorry if we drag that out as well. Do we answer the question?
Yes, and I think that was amazing. And I'm curious, why do so many people feel that disconnection from love if we're born with it, if it's always there? Where is that disconnection coming from?
It is buried inside there, so it almost gets locked away. So it's like the idea of just, you can imagine an avalanche of dirt coming down on top of the gem of love, the diamond of love, right? And all the dirt gets piled on top of it. And unfortunately, you have to dig to find it. And interesting enough, you cannot use a metal detector to find a diamond, right? You literally have to dig and dig and dig and expose the diamond. And this is what it's all about. It really is about you doing the work, the digging to find out where is your diamond. It is intentional, right? Because if we just gave you, that's not us, please understand it's not us, but we're going to use the term we. If we just gave you the answer to where the love is, you would never release the trauma. You would repeat over and over and over. And we can tell you a lot of you are just done repeating over and over and over. So now it's time to get the shovel, do the work so you can get to that gem inside of you.
I love that. And what is the greatest illusion do you think people hold about self-love personally? And how
They
can they
think they
awaken
don't
from
have it. The circumstance we're going to call the symptoms of not being loved or not being able to find that diamond in the dirt is the fact that you have no self-love. Oh my God, I'm trying. Where's it at? Oh, I must not be loved. The universe must not love me. God must not love me. I don't love myself. Look at all these bad decisions I made. You have never made a bad decision. You have made exactly the decision you needed to unearth more things you need to work on. This is all this is, and we're going to use the term earlier, a game. Recognize this is a script you are playing out. And you know what? It's no fun. This isn't a fun game, right? Until you get to that diamond and then life shows up, right? We want to talk about the idea of 5D for just a moment. People think that the 5D, the new Earth, right, is literally another planet hanging out to the side. You're going to get a trip over there in a shuttle. It does not work like that. What we're doing is we're raising the frequency, and we're raising the frequency right now in all of you. You guys can just, feel the warmth in the body and feel the emotions coming through this. As we do this, what is happening is, I lost my transmission. One moment, please. Please re-ask the question, Sam.
what are the energetic blocks that people experience about self-love and how can they awaken from those blocks?
Thank you. So again, I think we digressed a little bit on the 5D thing. The self-love thing happens but we do embrace those higher frequencies. Okay? When we get further and further down, again, to use the same analogy of this mountain of dirt over that diamond, as you begin to remove more and more, imagine that diamond, that bright light of that diamond shining through the earth, and you begin to feel the self-love. Until you get there, you're drudging through the work. It's miserable. It is absolutely miserable. You're dirty, if we will, and we're just using the metaphor of a coal miner, if you will, looking for that diamond in there. You're dirty, you're bent over, you're working hard. And you think, again, we're not loved. So all we're trying to say is, when these things in life show up to you, whether it be the poor relationship with the family, the friends, the child, and so on and so forth, those work relationships, this is the dirt, if you will, of that mound. And what you'll do is you simply need to recognize, listen, I've recognized, I move on the experience. And it doesn't show up again. But what happens here is we get stuck in the idea that the trauma from that experience needs to be dealt with in a human way, right? We need to react to something reacting to us. And it just builds and builds and builds. And rather than removing the dirt, you're piling more back on. You're making it deeper and harder for you to do this. Now, this is okay. This is also part of your script. And then one day you're going to wake up and say, oh, wait a minute. If I just allow that emotion to flow through and I say, this is the lesson, this is the dirt, this is the thing I need to work through, guess what? It doesn't show up anymore, right? Now, Ken will tell you right now, even in his life, as he removed the dirt, because again, he still had healing to do, it would show up 2, 3, and 4 times. And the universe is like, are you sure you're done with this? Are you really sure you're done with this? They kind of test you just a little bit, right? It's not that it's a bad test and you're not trying to pass anything, right? This is you recognizing I'm through, I'm ready, I've dealt with it, I've healed, I'm moving on, right? So we hope that made a little bit of sense and we hope we answered the question.
Yeah, the team is doing great because you just answered like three questions that I was going to ask in one, so that's great.
Yeah, yeah, okay, all right, well, there we go. This
I
is
love it.
all right.
You speak about removing the dirt. How can one begin to start that process of having the awareness of that dirt that's blocking that diamond and begin to kind of dig and work through that? And how does your work on that?
Change your, we apologize, you had another piece of that question.
You're all
Change
good.
your perception of everything in life. The other drivers on the road are not out trying to harm you. Okay? They're not trying to run into you intentionally to trigger you. Things happen. And when you have this trauma, these instances in life, right, you recognize that and you learn from the experience and you release. Okay? It's when you focus on the same thing over and over and over and over that it amplifies and again buries that diamond a little deeper and deeper and deeper. And we're apologizing, we are talking, but we're not sure we're answering your questions accurately. This is Ken, he's coming in and out a little.
No, I think it's great. And I think it's great that it's a little bit more organic. And personally, I'd love to say that I really resonate with that because, especially a lot of people in the spiritual world, they like to really focus on all of the things we're doing wrong and how can we do things right and how can we take things to the next level when a lot of it is like what you're saying, letting it be, letting the emotions flow.
What if everything wrong was right?
Exactly.
Understand that? What if
Hmm.
everything wrong in your life was right because it's right in your face? To deal with it. And to deal with it in a very positive, loving way, right? When you're in that room with another person, you've got that angry person in the room, the grumpy person in the room. We know the one, don't we, right? And the entire room gets that lower vibrational. God, the Johnny in the corner's got an attitude. Now I'm going to have an attitude as well. You don't have to do that. You don't have to take that on. And that's with everything, right? We can look at Ken's birth trauma, right? He had issues every single day of his life, even to now in his, he won't tell you his age, even until now. Every single day he deals with that trauma and he had a choice. I can allow it to impact him or he can work through it and recognize this is just part of the process. And now that particular issue is no longer a concern. It's just another thing in his life. Same thing with every aspect, right? When you have those relationships with those other individuals that are not treating you right, that's okay. Bye-bye. Right? You don't have to stay in those situations that continue to pile that dirt on top of you. You're not required to do that. Those things that are in front of you that are causing you to have that disruption is simply you moving through that. Are you going to stay there? Or are you going to address it in a way that brings you the most happiness? Happiness is also love. We hope that answered the question.
Yes. And a lot of people feel unworthy of love or that they need to earn it. They need to do something to be worthy of love. How can people recognize that the love is inherently who we are, no matter who we are and what we do and what mistakes we make, it's part of who we are.
The game is shoots and ladders. This is self-sabotage intentionally. And we want to say that this is the way that we deal with this. We, as in you, we apologize, the human, deals with this, right? We put these things in front of us and we say, we're not worthy, we're not worthy, we're not worthy. It's just the opposite. There's no one up there telling you you're not worthy. You are already divine. That spark's already in you. You're just living out the experience. There's no one who needs to give you permission to feel love or be loved. It's in you. It is you. Recognize that first. And when you release the idea that you're being restrained and constrained and restricted, you can then blossom. This is very important. No one is keeping you from being your authentic self except your scripted self. Work the script, work those issues, and you will find it.
Wow,
Sam,
that's
did that
beautiful.
answer the question, Sam?
It did.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. What does it really mean to rise in love and embody love in your daily life?
Okay. Remember, right? Love's already inside of you. We're just going to remove it. So as we remove more dirt, think of the idea of that love rising inside of you. That diamond rising up from the dirt, right? When you step when you step up to the job of removing those things, again, suppressing it. And we know we're using the dirt term, please understand. It's just the metaphor that popped into the head at the beginning of the session. When you remove those things, you rise. Your frequency rises, right? Think of it like this. Ken likes to call it energy interference. We're just going to call it a heavy blanket for a moment, right? If you have a heavy blanket on you, you have 1,000 heavy blankets on you, you're not going anywhere until you start removing these things, right? And as you do this, your frequency rises. We will let you know that you are already a high vibrating soul. Period. Period. Understand that. And when you get this trauma in your life from birth, from before birth, from galactic stuff, or down the guy at the grocery store, right? Whatever these things are, these are lower density frequencies. They pile on top of you more and more and more and more and more and more, reducing the frequency that you recognize as yourself. That core high vibrational frequency is still inside of you. And as you do the work, as you forgive, forget, move on, ground, whatever processes you use, removing the trauma as he does, you remove that thick energy, that thick crisis, if we want to use the word crisis. You remove that, which allows you to rise. Again, you could use the idea of a buoyancy, right? Right? You got all the things trapped on top of it. As we remove it, you become more buoyant. You come back to your naturally high vibrating self. But we want to say, give yourself permission. Many of you are not giving yourself permission to be authentic, to be who you are, to do the things you need to do to make those shifts in your life, to bring that out inside of you. These are the challenges. You all have choices in the script that you wrote for yourself. Are you going to go through the whole script? Or are you okay with right now? It's perfectly fine, whatever you choose. There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong path. There's nothing wrong with the script. Recognize that. And again, we're not even sure if we're answering the question, Sam.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I would love to know, how does love play into the fifth dimension and these new frequencies that are being integrated into Earth at this time?
Okay, so understand that again, we want to talk about the 5D and the energies coming in, right? The energies that are coming in are removing the inability for us to recognize the trauma we need to work on, right? So it's like the removing the veil that says, okay, this thing, and this thing needs to be worked on. We're activating more of our potential to do the work. Right? The 5D frequency is simply the ability to show up in the world and the world shows up to you in beauty, right? We don't see as he says, the uglies in the world affecting us, nor do we care. And the less focus we put on those things, the more you rise in love with yourself. So the 5D really is the ability to let that diamond shine. Do more work, you get there faster. Did that answer the question?
Yes, and I agree with that completely. And how does your team think that a person's life can change and expand once they begin to integrate those energies of love that live within them and begin to live from a space of love?
Can you imagine waking up in absolute beauty every single day? Where you go to bed without worrying about this or that. You don't have that the mental brain going on and on and on over and over and over. Why? Because those things just are no longer triggering you. They're no longer things you have to solve. Ken does this all the time. He wakes up, he doesn't have anything to do. Nothing to complain or bitch about. It's a little awkward, right? And this is the same thing that you're going to experience. You won't have the things to focus on except the beauty inside. We also want to make a point. As you rise in your frequency, Everything around you changes to match you, including family and relationships. Everything changes. You are the ripple that affects them as well. You want to help the family? You want to help the neighbor? Change inside of you first. That is the most impressive thing you can do for the entire world. Everything has a ripple effect. And this is really about the new earth and the 5D. The entire planet is shifting into these high frequencies, right? The entire planet is moving through this ripple effect. The planet and the people and everything in between, if you will. Pardon, we're not going to get into all that. But it is the ripple effect that changes all of us. All of us. The uglies no longer present themselves. They don't have an adversary. That's simple. We hope that's that simple.
I agree. And I would love to kind of address a question. I'm going off script now, but just
Oh
things are
yeah, we're
kind of
going to have fun now.
gonna have fun now, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people sometimes feel that this shift needs to be sudden. You just go from 0 to 100. Do you guys feel that it is a gradual shift, something that needs consistent work and discipline to be able to embody that energy? Or is it something that we can just decide to do and the next day our whole world changes?
It's a state of mind. We can stay in the state of mind, if you will, of blissfulness and peace, and the world will eventually show up like that. But again, just because you wake up with a smile one day in the morning doesn't mean the world's going to wake up with a smile against, with you as well, right? The universe has to understand, okay, you have shifted, and now we're going to shift the things around you. We will tell you sometimes it can happen in an instant. We've heard about the Kundalini, right? No fun. Anybody who has had that can recognize the amount of stress in the body and stress in the life as they recognize, oh my God, I'm something new, right? And there's trauma around that as well, a different type of trauma of processing, right? So you don't have to have the Kundalini. Kenneth never had the Kundalini, right? So you don't have to have the instant, but what you do, you change who you are in an instant and how you see the world, right? Rather than saying, ooh, that person's right? Now it's more like, oh, okay, well, move on. It just doesn't affect you. There's judgments dropped, right? The way you see the world isn't one of, well, that person's dressed in red, they must mean this, or that person's driving that car, they must mean that. It no longer matters. It no longer matters. And you see the world for what it really is. Beautiful. You see the energy for what it is. Beautiful. When you embody that, when you make that decision to say, you know what, I'm no longer going to process I'm no longer going to hold the trauma inside me, we're going to process it, the world will respond. It may not respond in seconds, it may take months as you do more and more and more work inside. And as you do this, you're going to be so gratified because you're going to have those sparks and those moments where, oh my God, I feel it. My entire day has been wonderful. And then the next day, the bills are due, right? So these things happen. And you're going to find yourself going in and out, in and out. We like the picture behind him, going in or out of ups and downs. And eventually it'll just stabilize where things are fine. They don't matter. They don't drag you down. But yes, you're still in a human body and you will still have those moments, right? But you'll move through them so fast. And you won't hold more. You've already done the work. Why would you want to pile dirt on top of all the work you just did? This will become a natural way, a natural state of the human. And guess what? Welcome to your 5D. We hope that made sense.
Yes, I love it. And it's very relatable. So I'm personally really having fun in this event. I hope everybody else is as well. I did want
I
to
am.
ask one more question to the team, specifically about relationship patterns.
Hmm.
I know we talk about this a lot in psychology and different aspects of spirituality, and it's something that everybody deals with is getting stuck in these patterns of finding these partners in our lives and romantic relationships or otherwise, and going through these same kind of emotional, difficult patterns that repeat themselves, and people that are trying to get away from that pattern or trying to change that pattern. What advice does the team have for them?
First of all, you said the word stuck. That's a choice.
True.
Understand that, right? Now, we understand that in certain situations, it may be dire, right? The ability to leave something may impact your ability to survive, if you will. You need to address that. But don't stay stuck. It is a choice to remain where you're at, no matter how difficult the journey is. Understand that. When you stay stuck, you stay stuck now, in the future, the next, and the next, and the next. Understand that. You will go through this and you will process because you have shown up to do the work. Now, again, we recognize how difficult this is. We are not downplaying it. We're simply trying to understand, make you understand, as Ken says, keep it simple, silly, the KISS principle, right? And that's how he dislikes to explain things. We are not downplaying the seriousness of all your situations, but we're letting you know it doesn't have to stay that way. Okay? The universe will deliver to you. It absolutely will. But you may find that when you step out of that stuckness, you go because you're relying on that stuckness to maintain you in that horrible thing. Well, this is okay. All right. This is a reset. This is exactly what Ken had to do over the last 12 months. And as you know, the journey, right? He's had to separate and divorce and give up everything in his life by choice. By choice. To reset him into this new energetic field. Okay? It's not easy and it will hurt others as well. We're not saying to hurt others. We're letting you know that that ripple effect of that change will vibrate through everything around you and it'll feel shaky and turbulent until it stabilizes. It's the lessons that you learned from the release of being stuck. The universe won't deliver it again. Do you really want that same relationship again, and again? Mm-mm. Release. Do the work. Find out why it's there. And this is the digging, right? This is the digging. And we will tell you, don't do that journey alone. There are millions and millions of beautiful souls on this planet that have the gift to see and to assist. Reach out and touch every one of them that resonates inside of you. They all have a tool to help you process this thing. We say the thing, the trauma. Did that answer the question, Sam?
Yes, completely.
Oh, okay,
And
good. Because I don't even know the question as I start.
no, I think it's great. One more question that I thought was interesting that I just saw Ashley put in the chat. And she says, what if everything feels aligned? Family, health, relationships, love, the self, career. We're already there. So how do we proceed to keep it at least a piece of ourself in the 5D?
I don't understand the question, so it's hard for me to answer that. So maybe you want to word it in a way that I can grasp it.
Yeah, if everything's already feeling aligned, you feel good, you feel happy with your life and where it's at, what are your next steps to be able to continue to integrate those energies into your life?
Right. Okay. So 5D is wonderful, right? Perfect. Guess what? You're still up there. Dig into the
Mm.
galactic trauma. Dig into the past lives, and we want to stress: don't dig into the story of the past life. Just release those past lives and heal those past lives. Again, there are tools out there to do this, right? As you do that, you are literally clearing all of that. Remember, it's not just you as well. You are attached to your ancestry. You're attached to your other past life. You are attached to your other realities and other realms and other universes. Everything's connected. So as you have this beautiful frequency in front of you, as you've done the work, tap in. Tap in. What ancestor can I release today? What can I do today? And we know that's not really directions and guidance and play-by-play book. But when you move past this, you will move into that. Now, we also want to say there's the other path, the other path, the other path, which is what Ken's doing, is now you assist others in this realm. If you are in the 5D and you have those gifts to assist others, well, we call that your mission, right? And not everyone has a mission, not everyone has the purpose to serve, but it may be in alignment as well. So you may not have to go up there to do more work. You're going to work with others. And we will state that as you work with others, you're actually doing work up there for yourself. As you show up, it shows up. As you do the work, even for the others, and when you're the tool, you also work on those other aspects of you that are sitting outside the gates begging, help us, help us, help us, help us release, help us be better, their frequency as well, right? That's all. We hope that made sense. A little jagged for us though.
Love it. And I know Ken mentioned that we are going to be doing a healing activation. I would love to hear it.
Really? We're
And
gonna do
Ken, if you
that?
want to give, yeah, we're gonna do it. If you want to give a little bit of a precursor for maybe some new people here, how they can receive this to the best of their ability, how they can open themselves a little bit, and what this might help them feel rather than achieve or do, what this might help them feel.
Yeah, absolutely. So the team just likes to do the work. And we mean do the work. We're there with the bulldozer, the backhoe, whatever construction equipment you wanna label, digging that dirt for you. Okay? And this is what we're going to do today. So there's three things we're going to work on. First of all, we're going to work on your energy field. Just the crud that's in the field, right? We're going to release that. You're going to feel, many of you, and we want to make a clause here. Not everyone feels energy. So just because you don't feel the tingles or the heat or the warmth or the expansion happening, it's happening. You're just not tuned into it. So don't walk away from this saying, well, I didn't get anything. Well, you did. You absolutely did. You're just not tuned, if you will, to the radio station of the shift that's happening. So please understand that. So we're going to work on the energy field around you. We're going to remove some of the yuckies there, right? We're going to move some attachments as well. And then we're going to move on to working on some heart trauma release, right? Listen, our trauma is not just in the heart, it's the entire body. All right, we hold the trauma in every cell of the body. But the heart holds the deepest, ickiest trauma. This is where it all gets hidden, right? So this is what we're going to do is we're going to kind of reach in gently, right? And we're going to pull some of that out for you. You may or may not feel it again, as we just mentioned, right? Now, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to work on your life blockages. Who doesn't want the world to show up a little differently, right? You know, who's been struggling to find that job or that partner or that thing, right? Understanding why I'm putting it out there, I'm not getting it. Well, we're going to remove some of those blockages for you now. It won't be a complete removal, of course. There's work to do. And as we remove some, others show up, right? Layer after layer after layer. But today's going to be a big shift for all of you. And Sam, if you're ready, we can begin. Up to you.
We are ready.
Okay, everyone. I just want everyone just kind of close their eyes, right? And just hold that space for a moment. The team's going to get permission from each and every one of you in the egoic sense. Our ego is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It protects you from more trauma, if you will. But even us, we're a foreigner, if you will, to your ego. So we're simply going to introduce ourselves. Again, it'll be quiet, a little light language, nothing you need to do to make sure we have permission to access your energy field. That's the proper way to do it, right? Knock on the door before you barge in. Okay, hold on a moment. Yeshua just showed up right in the middle of all of you. Granted, move on. Okay, perfect. It's just a little preliminary stuff. Ooh, I can feel this. Okay, I'm going to work on the energy field. The team's going to work on the energy field. We are one and the same. Archangels are here as well. Kraporio Noria Noria Nareshi Rari and Rari Neshokodan Paul Coronoria no Shurikunoria no Korokoria Nonia Nonia Mamia Nonia Nakara Kora the Discanadia Nishiria. Murasholia Laria Rataria Taro Toriano Shorio Notari Nishiri and Docorio Notari and Dario Lavia Nari and Neshikoria Mapianari and Netaria Discoria Daria Nashiria. Hold tight, more coming. Shoria Maya Kia Ko Shokayo Koya Mobia Kia Niatia. Karedoni Nia Nashia da Koya Mokorio Notia Nishia Korio. Korea Laria Noria Nana Nishiria Nora bring it in. Korea Maria Rataria no Shorio no Shorio no Sharia. Koshoria Nishia no Maya Karia Laria Shakoria Korea Mapa Papaya Shia Lario Shorio Toria Puria Toria. Thank you. So just keep your eyes closed. And whatever shows up in your peripheral, in your vision, allow it to happen. We want you to understand that there's nothing you can do wrong. You need to live with that statement forever. There is nothing you can do wrong. And allow whatever to show up, and enjoy whatever you may feel, sense, perceive, or see. We are now going to move into your heart. Okay? And in the heart, We're going to begin pulling trauma out of the heart. Again, you may or may not recognize what's happening. The heart is open for us now. Please move in. Mia laria nia noria noria mama ya loria naria nia laria noria naria ni shirotoria ria maria alario moria shikaria nario noria naria ni shiria noria korotoria noria naria. We're just making room for more. Going in. Shikatoria Matarigo Natari Nataria Natarica Notica Nishkadorica Notica Notica Nishkadaria Notoria Nati Nishkoratoria Mapia Natara Natarica Nishkodoria Noratoria Mapia Nerotario Napari and Nerorambadia Duskanican Crotoria Nodini Nishkadani Narataria Natari Nishkodoria Noria Mamia Noria Mapia Nodi Nishkadaria Doria Mamia Naria Nadia Shikotokotika Ramaturia Doria Shkadaria Nushkaprotaria Naro Nishkodoria Nataria Shkornetaria Nataria Nataria Nishkadaria more Karadamaria Laria Noratoria Rataria La Koroshi Kara Rataria Rishi Sharia Notoria Mapa Papa Yetadina Notaria not messing around today, folks, are they? Karataria Shoria Nia Noria Mama Yalaria Lurio Roya Nia Laria Naria Nishiria Naria Noria Noria. We're gonna fill up that space. We're gonna Mikata Kata remove the trauma, fill it with that love, that diamond we were talking about earlier. Please hold. You're gonna move the Christ consciousness into your body. Sharia Mario Korio Noria Shakaya Nodoria Noria 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 Nia Sharia. You're already perfect and beautiful. Korio Noria Momio Noria Daya Naya no Shuria Koria Shini Koria Laria Resia Omoya La Kaya Nea Naya Na Korio Norio no Shiriani Koria Laria Toria Nani Kini Shi Nuria Mamoyoko Korio Shoria Nodoria Nokoya Sharia Taria. We'd like to do an additional thing here. We're going to work on the trauma in the physical body, outside of the heart. This may feel a little rough. Como con il ragazzo scande di nada do rapare con noi manetta di schedare territorio ma care andaria coria correndo territorio andaria andaria schedare dare garati scia tia loria mari le corre no corre mario corio shorio no corio noria mamma maya laria ni corio coria naria ni alaria shoria corio shorio notoria noria sharia le roria noria ni akalia le sciata to shokotomo piotto po shokotoria. Thank you. Okay. Excuse me just a moment. We're going to move on to the life blockages. And here we go. These will take 3 to 5 days to show up. And we just want you to notice what you notice about the things around you, the people around you, the things that show up. Listen, when the universe gives you something, please accept it. We want to give you this message right up front because you may find things coming from strangers that are beneficial to you. Do not say no. Use your discernment, please. Use your discernment, please. But when you say no to life giving you something due to pride, right? Due to principle, due to judgment of the thing or the person giving it to you, you are telling the universe, I don't want to receive. We stress, use discernment, not judgment. Because you're going to be given things, and they may show up simple. But this is the test. We just want to give you that message, and here we go. Rise. Sharia Loria Noria Noria Nini Nishi in the world is your oyster. Korea Noria Laria Niria Nia Doshuria. What pearl are you gonna discover? Okay, everyone. You can come out of that. Oh, okay, so sometimes they just throw in these crazy words right in the middle of it, right? The world is your oyster. What pearl are you going to discover? I just love these guys. Sam, when you come out of it, come on back on. I'd be curious to know how you feel, or if anything's going on in the chat room before we begin next.
The next.
The
I
next
think that was
next.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Very intense but calm.
Yeah, it's designed
Two
like they
opposites, but
said. They're doing like they're bringing in the big guns, the bulldozers, right? And they're removing that stuff. Like they just don't mess around, right?
Mhm.
And we're going to talk a little bit about how we can give you some more of those tools. So go ahead.
Well, sorry, let me find
Yeah,
my
it's all
note.
good.
Honestly, I gotta say, Ken, I loved this event. I love the format that we did it in. I felt more connected to your team than ever have, like being able to ask the questions and get you channeling those answers on the spot. I think it's a really great way to engage. I don't know how everybody else feels in the chat, but we'd love to hear how you enjoyed this event. I know this is just the beginning for you and your work with the people in this group, your work with the human race as a whole. And for those who are feeling the call to go deeper, what is the next step that people can take for the people that are here currently present or watching the replay?
Okay, so again, tonight we've kind of begun this process of kind of we want to say remembering, but as much as we want to say, understanding what it takes for us to get into that rising in love with yourself, right? So some of you are already shifting now, and you will feel the shift. There might be a sense of relief, right? The weight lifted, and some of you may be emotional right now, wondering where the hell is that coming from, right? This is the release, right? And just recognize you need to allow that to happen, all right? But again, awareness alone is not enough. So love, it's not love is not an idea. It's inside of you, right? And it's not something you understand. Or you can't go to the grocery store and I'll take two sides of love. It kind of doesn't work like that, does it, right? So, it's something you embody. It's something you become. Like right now, if you want to think of the idea of you embodying all the trauma for a moment, all that heavy density, all that heavy energy, right? And again, as you move and you remove that, you begin to embody that higher frequency. You rise in love with yourself. You rise the frequency. Okay, so this is why I created or the team's actually created, and this does include Sam, by the way. She's always part of everything. But the
Mm.
Rising in Love with Yourself event, right? This is a 3-hour immersive event, right? And this is happening on the 16th, I believe.
Yep,
And I
this
want to tell you,
Sunday.
yeah, this Sunday, right, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. Listen, we are not going to have a discussion about love, right? I'm the last person who understands that, right? And if you'll notice, you've been following me, I don't have esoteric knowledge. I don't have, ceremonies and processes and things and timing with the full moon. And I'm being a little funny, right? Because I actually don't understand those things at all. But what I do know is how to get the work done with you. How to give you more tools. And this is what the Rise in Love with Yourself event is all about. So, Sam?
Yeah, I am super excited personally. Can you share a little bit about what is going to happen during the event, what people will experience?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So many of you have heard the term the Library of Creation, right? And the Library of Creation is in my field. Um, it's a library of creation, meaning that it contains access, if you will, to all of those things, all the trauma, okay? They have places you can go in there. I call these rooms. You have the room of your childhood memories as an example. And the way the library is set up, it's designed for you to go in there and do the work lickety split. right? Without having to relive that trauma, without having to know what the trauma is, right? You no longer need to know where that nugget is that you need to remove. So the library is this interface. We can go in there and say, show me, as an example, just an example, show me the childhood trauma, the childhood emotions, the behavior, the patterns that keep me from falling in love with myself. As an example, everything is question based. We're going to go over your past life stuff. Show me the past lives that are impacting my ability to love, right? Show me the karma that may be interacting with you right now. Your ancestors. We're going to go over your triggers, I call them. We're going to go over your patterning or your programming, right? We're going to remove those self-limiting beliefs without actually having to define what that self-limiting belief is. The library contains the frequency solution. So when we think about the idea of energy interference or everything having an energy fingerprint, right? A past life that has a traumatic connection to you has a fingerprint, right? Right? The library not only can read that fingerprint, but it has the opposite and equal reaction in terms of frequency to release it. The best way for Ken to explain this is the idea of two identical amplitude ripples across the water. When they hit each other, they cancel each other out. And this is what the library does. It shows you a way for you to reach in, grab the thing you don't even know is there, and pull it out. Bam, 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 right? So again, the karmic, when we remove those things, it's like removing that dirt. And then once we get to that point, then we're going to amplify the frequency inside of you, right? So you can feel the energy of love, right? We want you not only to see that diamond, we want you to feel that diamond. We want you literally to put a light to it and shine it. And we're going to do that with you. We're going to show you how to do that. In addition, we're going to also move you into that 5D that you talk about, amplifying your frequency in such a way where you begin to embody that on a daily basis, right? So it's not just about healing. We're going to rewire your energy field to hold the vibration of love naturally and effortlessly, right? We're going to show you how to deal with those things in the library, of course, that show up in your life daily and daily and daily. There are things you can do in the room to remove all the yuckies that happen to you. Did that help, Sam?
Yeah, I love that. And your team kind of answered the next question I was going to
Oh,
ask, so I'm going to skip that.
they must be reading
What
your
kind of,
mind.
right? What kind of transformations have you seen, Ken, in people who have done this work with you?
Listen, the transformations are phenomenal, but we want you to understand something. And please understand this term, and we will state it, but we want you to understand the definition first. Everybody gets their own miracle. Period. We're going to define miracle as this. There is no religious tone here. Miracle is something positive that happens to you without a logical explanation. Whether it be something you feel deep inside of you or the world showing up at your front door in a way that you've always wanted to manifest, right? The world shows up once we get rid of all that things. The transformations are incredible, right? Often we find that the reason we can't physically heal the body is because of the trauma attached to everything. It is, those things inside of us are created from these energy interferences, this heavy trauma. When we remove those things, the body reacts in a positive way. Okay? I have seen so many people, with the eyeballs of full, going about a full range of motion, popping, clicking, gone, muscles relaxed, conditions gone, right? And that's right there in the moment, not to mention the things that happen everywhere and afterwards. You mean, the amount of emails that I get, and Sam, you
For a
probably see some
second.
too. You get so many emails regarding this has changed, this has changed, this is happening. It's incredible. It really is incredible. So did that answer the question? I'm sorry, Sam. Did I interrupt you? I thought I heard a noise.
No, I think somebody unmuted for a second, but now they're all muted, so
Oh,
no
no
problem.
worries. Okay.
But we heard you good.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And so, for those who are ready to take this next step and join the Rising in Love event that's happening this Sunday, and in celebration, of course, in of Valentine's Day, of Love Day that we celebrate in today's society, what are the next steps? How can somebody join? Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be an email that goes around with the link, and there'll probably one in the chat room. I think you're gonna pop in
there
there to join.
is. Yes.
So the price, right? For 3 hours with the team, for 3 hours of them doing the work with you and for you, right? It's $133, and that's if you register before the deadline, right? And I believe the deadline is the 15th. Is that
Yes.
correct? Right,
Hmm.
right. Now here's the deal, guys. If you want to have a one-on-one session with me, they've created for the first time a VIP package, right? So you get admission to this event, and then you get a 30-minute one-on-one healing session with me. Let me tell you something, folks. 30 minutes is a long time with me. All right. Most of my sessions are taking about 15 minutes to move through, and we spend the next 15 minutes just talking about things that they want to know, questions, channelings, whatever those are, right? So, again, the one on one sessions are normally $250. All right. So, the VIP package gives you access to me and the event for $327 if you register before February 15th. And you can use that private session at any time. It doesn't have to be used this week or the next day, right? So, yeah, I mean, anything and everything can happen in those sessions. It's actually incredible. And, if you don't mind, I know some of you have had those sessions with me. And if you guys want to pop in a comment or two about your experience, I think that'd be kind of cool. I mean, listen,
Hmm.
don't listen to me. Listen to those folks that have had the experience. They'll share if they so choose, by all means.
Yes. And sorry, Ashley just had a question. Yeah, so I'm gonna be emailing all the people that are live today. It would help if you drop your emails in the chat, just because sometimes the Zoom names and the emails can be a little bit different and it's hard to find people. That way I can get you all this information. But truthfully, speaking to all of you, I've been working with Ken for a few months now, and I've seen his pretty rapid growth over the last couple months in his team and how it's expanding and how things are changing. And this event feels like something really, really special. And especially with what we experienced tonight, which is a completely new format. I'm really, really excited for Sunday and what Ken's going to be channeling through on Sunday. And I would really love for all of you to be there. For context, Ken did mention about the VIP package that we are offering. Ken's 30-minute session currently is, Ken, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah,
$250, right,
that's
for the
correct.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
So for 327, you get this event and a 30-minute session. So there's a discount there. Um, and I think that's a super helpful package for a lot of people because I know that people like to join the group events and they like their one-on-one time with Ken as well, so they can kind of get a little bit more personalized, like tailored channelings from the team. So we have that. I've popped the link in the chat. And we also know that, finances can be a challenge sometimes for people. So if you need some sort of like, payment plan, you can make two separate payments. You can email info@kenlloydofficial.com. I'm gonna pop that in the chat. Um, and we will be there to kind of work with you because we really want this to expand. We want Ken's work to reach more people. So of course, feel free to share the link to register with your friends, with people that you think are interested, people that you think can benefit from Ken's work. Will tonight be sent to us as a recording? Yep, so we will get the recording sent to you right after this call is done. Maybe wait an hour
probably
or
an
so
hour or
to
two. Yeah,
get
I'm gonna
everything
upload it to
together.
YouTube. Yeah.
But this will be sent to everybody that's registered. So you guys can come back, you guys can rewatch it, you guys can re-receive the beautiful channelings that Ken and his team gave to us today. And yeah, drop your email if you want more information in Rising in Love with Yourself, Sunday, February 16th at 1 p.m.
One
Eastern.
one to 1 p.m. Yeah, Eastern. Eastern.
1 to
I'm in a new
4
time
p.m.
zone now.
Eastern.
Just a couple follow-on comments, right, guys? You know, I recognize this is a financial commitment, right? And I think you just kind of just take it back, and ask yourself, what if you didn't carry the weight of the past wounds, right? What if you didn't have those subconscious self-limiting beliefs, that told you love had to be hard? It had to be hard to love yourself, right? What if you didn't have to prove anything anymore to anybody, especially yourself? It's all possible. It's absolutely possible. There's nothing standing in your way of finding that love inside of you. And remember, that love inside of you is going to heal you, right? Period.
Hmm.
So, listen,
And with that, I
yeah, go
wanted
ahead.
to share that I feel that this is the perfect timing, especially with, Valentine's Day is a very, societal concept that we've made up. And at the same time, when the collective as a whole is focusing on something that is love, even if it's in the way that we perceive love, that's a powerful thing. And, I think giving that gift to ourselves of being able to show up for ourselves and do the work as Ken's team was talking about so much today and kind of work through some of that dirt to really get to that diamond life that is waiting for us. And that's what we're going to be doing on Sunday. So give that gift to yourself. Allow yourself to feel the love that you are and that you embody, and that you deserve. That's my little
That's
spiel
it.
for
Thank you
today.
so much. Listen, I appreciate all of you, and I'm more appreciative of you showing up for yourself today. Even if you don't move forward, it's okay. You received, period.
Mhm.
Right? And if nothing else, you received knowledge and information of what's really, at least in Ken's view and the team's view, what's happening, energetically to you and why these things show up in your life, right? So again, my gift to you, by all means, and please, thank you for hanging out. Much love. We're all set, guys. See you later.
It was super fun. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, right. Me too. That was so cool. We're gonna do this again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Bye, Sam. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you for
everyone.
coming.
All right, I'm gonna kill the chat. Bye, Sam.
Yep. Sounds good.